rossoneri, and welcome to Casa Milan Studios. We are ready for a new weekly episode of our AC Milan Talk with all the going song of our favorite club, both on and off the pitch as always. But let's start saying hello to my two guests. Welcome to Adriano Del Monte. Hi Adriano, how are you?
Hello Licia, very well. After a big win, we're always very well.
Of course. And welcome also to Sheridan Verde. Hi Sheridan, how are you?
Hello there, I'm very well. Hello Adriano, let's get going.
So guys, let's start because plenty of talking points here at AC Milan. So let's start with our men's first team. Five-star show at San Siro for our rossoneri against Claudio Ranieri's Cagliari. A very important victory, 3 full points with 5-1 as a final result. So many important and positive notes and many protagonists on the pitch, Adriano.
Many goals, a lot of action. The weather was warming up. It was a good return to form, and obviously to score 5 goals. As we get towards these last few matches of the season, it's plenty to take away from these remaining fixtures that we'll take into the summer and into preparations for next season. Of course, a big win, 5-1 at home, one of the remaining opportunities for the fans to get a close look of the players and to do it in the style. And you mentioned many protagonists as well. Obviously, some goal scorers there returning to form, and you can see now, second place Sheridan, mathematically confirmed.
Your
Only a
favorite
couple of
word.
matches to go. So look, it's a good time. 74 points. Look, I think when you look at the season and how it's played out, the fact that 80 points is a target, it's a fair achievement. It's a solid season. So when we reflect, and we will in our remaining shows, there have been difficult moments this season for the club, but to come away with near 80 points in a Serie A season, that's a great effort. So I think there's still plenty to take away, and another strong performance last weekend.
Big AC Milan performance, also considering the second place topic.
It was good, it was a great afternoon. It brought a few smiles back to the faces of fans after a difficult few months, we know that. But to score 5 goals, as Adriano says, is always an excellent achievement. The attack really functioned well, and it was just, like I say, it was a bit of joy, something for the fans to really cherish, really, because it was a really powerful attacking performance. 5 goals, what we call a super poker, super de poker in Italiano, when the teams score 4 or 5 goals. Rafa Leao looked really good. Christian Pulisic looked really impressive. The team looked hungry. The team looked happy. When you enjoy your football, you play well, and often when you play well, you win. So it was a really good afternoon.
And some of these finishes spectacular as well. The build-up play, the players were enjoying themselves. Leao, for me, was at his best. Again, there's just so many positives to take away from a team. You see there Benacer and Leao, and just so many protagonists in this match, making it look easy. It's far from easy. So, and I love this as well. Having fun, enjoying it. And this is a team that when they are enjoying their football, they're absolutely playing at their best. And you feel it when you're at San Siro, when you're in the stands. And this is why we see moments like this. And another fine performance by Pioli's men.
Yeah, exactly. It's just about enjoying yourself, remembering that football should be fun. We know it's a business and it's about winning. It's a results business, but it should be fun, and it was fun against Cagliari.
And a fun and particular curiosity from Saturday night, because on Mother's Day weekend, for the first time in Italian football, AC Milan men's first teams wore their mother surnames on their jerseys, because since 2022 in Italy is possible to inherit mother's surname. So it was very funny and interesting curiosity for them and for us.
A beautiful touch. A very nice touch, and it's one thing that, well, everyone watching, I presume, are big supporters of this club, and it's one thing to know about this club that always at the forefront of change and positive movements, and this is another nice touch by the club on a special weekend for mothers around the world, and for these players to put in that performance with their mothers' names on the back, I think it makes it extra special.
Yeah, I think it's a really lovely gesture. Really good tribute. Those players, I'm sure their parents, their mothers as well, made huge sacrifices for them to become professional football players. I want to say hello to my mum. Hi, Mum, I'll call you soon. And we all know how important mothers are.
Absolutely.
So, night to be remembered in every sense. And after that, our head coach Stefano Pioli talked to Milan TV, commented on his led performance. So let's listen to his post-match reaction.
abbiamo subito questo periodo difficile con l'eliminazione dell'Europa League, con la sconfitta del derby, quindi ci siamo portati dietro molta delusione, molta tristezza che abbiamo provato a trasformare subito in determinazione, ma non sempre ci siamo riusciti. Quindi il fatto di esserci riusciti stasera e di aver vinto una partita che ci avvicina ancora di più al secondo posto è sicuramente una cosa importante. Un grandissimo professionista, un grandissimo giocatore, è un top. Cristian è un top per la qualità che ha, per le scelte che fa in campo, per l'intensità che ha, per come si prepara. Io credo che è impossibile che un giocatore al primo anno in Italia riesca comunque subito a mettere tutto il suo potenziale. Certo che lui ha fatto molto bene, è stato molto continuo, è un giocatore forte, ma credo che possa fare ancora di più in futuro.
So after a tricky month, AC Milan found their way back to a three-pointer, and maybe it's the best period to gain an important victory like this one against Cagliari, I don't know.
Yeah, of course, and as Mr. Pioli said, there's some of his players at their top, and for some of them it is their first season, and we are looking now into what happens next season. These players can go to another level, and I think we cannot underestimate the importance of finishing the season strongly, because it can be a long summer, no football for a couple of months, and you want those strong performances to close out the season, to take confidence going into next season in a Milan shirt. So I think that, again, these last two fixtures, while Champions League is secured, a top finish in the league is secured, but there is still plenty to play for. And Pulisic is one he mentioned there. I'm really excited to keep an eye on him as we go into the summer and into next season.
Yes, Stefano Pioli commented also on Christian Pulisic's performance, but also on his first season in Rossonero. We know very well that Serie A is a very tough league, also during the first season, but our new number 11 managed it very well.
Yeah, he's settled in very quickly, which shows that he's a top professional. As Mr. Pioli said, he's got his head down and he's worked hard. New language, new culture, new city, obviously, new teammates, but it hasn't appeared to faze him. And he's someone who enjoys his football and expresses himself best on the pitch when he feels comfortable off it. And it's really good that he's enjoying his football again. Didn't have a great time really in the latter phase at Chelsea, but here with Milan, he seems to be really enjoying his life, enjoying his football, and that's a positive for the Rossoneri.
Unbelievable numbers as well. 15 and 9 across all competitions, 15 goals, 9 assists. You know, there's been a bit of a problem I always have with some of the superstars in world football of the last 15, 20 years that have performed with exceptional numbers, which makes something like 15 and 9, which is a high-level player. That is a world-class player, and that must not be disregarded. This is a player in his first season, in a new city, in a new club, with a new language. That is a remarkable return by the American, who, as Mr. Pioli said as well, will get better because it is difficult to adapt to this league in a first season. Those numbers are exceptional, and that is why this is really the player that I am very, very keen to see how he settles into season number 2. This season was his best return in a league season in his career. We know he's played at a top level, but for him to have done that in season 1, bring on season 2, because this team will be better for him in the squad.
Christian Pulisic also was the MVP on Saturday night against Cagliari, but among the Rossoneri, many protagonists and many post-match reactions, also for our number 14, Tijani Reijnders, who is living his first season in Rossonero. Let's listen.
This one was important. The last month was difficult, and we needed the win, and I think we did a good job today. And make sure that we are on a better place now. I hope next season I score more goals and hopefully also more assists. But it's my first season. I had to adapt first year, and next season we have to move on.
So in the hope of doing better and being more decisive, this is Reijnders' wish for next season, even if he has already become a point of reference on the pitch.
Absolutely. Top player, top player. I love his approach, love his attitude, and I love what he's brought to this team, to the midfield. He's another player. Again, I think it's the case with all of these players who have come in this first season at the club. They are starting to understand what makes this club so special, by experiencing, by playing. And the fact that they're also performing and adapting and doing it so quickly, it gives me a lot of confidence going into next season.
Yeah, really good player. As the fans, the international fans say, go power Reijnders. They absolutely love him. And he's really impressed with his shooting, with his energy, and also with his personality. We saw there in that brief interview. He's a smiley guy who enjoys life, and you need people like that in the dressing room because football can get very, very serious. But this is someone who brings value on the pitch, like that goal demonstrates, but also brings a lot to the training ground and brings a lot of joy and a lot of those infectious grins.
And talking about personality, our rossoneri need to show it once again on Saturday away to Torino to face Zurich side. But what about this team, Adriano?
I'm looking forward to this match because this Torino team are still playing for UEFA Europa Conference League spot, so they still have something to play for. Torino this season have the best defensive record in terms of goals conceded in the league. So, coming off the back of us scoring 5 last weekend, this is a strong test against Juric's Torino here, and I'm excited for this challenge. We talk about taking positive steps towards next season. This will be a good one. We had a strong performance against Torino earlier in the campaign, but this time around, away from home, off the back of a strong win, I think this is going to be a nice test as we close out the season.
And Sheridan, we know very well also what happened in August in the first face-to-face against Torino of this season. It ended 4-1 on the score sheet. Pulisic, the brace from Olivier Giroud, and final to Reijnders. So
it was a great victory earlier on in the season. The mission is to replicate that. They've had a strange season, Torino, I think it's fair to say. They haven't scored many goals, but as Adriano indicated, they don't concede too many either. So they're always a tough team to play against. Ivan Juric, their coach, he knows what he's doing. He knows tactically how to set teams up. And it'll be a tough match. And the mission again for Milan will be to keep continuing with these final matches of the season to show their attacking flair and keep the goals going in and just try and finish on a high.
The next up against Torino will be the penultimate match in rossonero jersey for our number 9, our Olivier Giroud with our club. So let's listen an extract from an official interview.
Io sono qua per dirvi che giocherò le 2 mie ultime partite al Milan. Io vado a continuare la mia carriera, ma in MLS. Sono molto orgoglioso di tutto quello che ho fatto con il Milan in questi 3 anni. È il momento giusto per dirlo e sono, scusa, un po' emozionato, ma sì, la mia storia con il Milan finisce quest'anno, ma comunque il Milan rimarrà sempre nel mio cuore.
A tough one to take, especially for the rossoneri fans. Plenty of emotions in this goodbye, Adriano.
Yes, I'm still coming to terms with it because I love Olivier Giroud, what he's done for this club, what he's done over the course of his career. His numbers here in the twilight years, the latter years of his career, I don't think anyone expected him to be this good. I did. I've always been a big supporter of Giroud, but the quality to still score goals like this, to still be the protagonist that he has been, to have had the impact that he has had at his age is phenomenal. And yes, it's been a few seasons. It would have been amazing if he was able to spend more seasons here, but he's left his mark on this club. You can see in his emotion, the way that he speaks about the club, how much he's enjoyed his time here. Obviously, the unforgettable scudetto success. I was there at Sassuolo when they won the title, and he was a protagonist again on that day. So this is a player who has stepped up in the key moments to score so many key goals, and I think every Milan fan will be very sad when the day comes very soon that it is the final minute that he plays in a Milan shirt. But yeah, for Olivier Giroud, it's been a pleasure to watch him play. Merci, we can say to him.
Very good.
And of course, we wish him the best of luck in the MLS in Los Angeles in the future because, yeah, he will be sorely missed. And this is a player who still has been key to all of the success that this club has had.
And an undisputed protagonist among the rossoneri.
He has. I want to echo the words of Adriano that he has made a huge impact. he took a number 9 shirt that for Milan had been difficult for other players, other very good players, but he didn't seem bothered by that so-called curse of the number 9 shirt. He made it his own, scored some vital goals against our neighbours, Inter, one that perhaps cemented his legend, and the catchphrase "Si è girato Giroud," which means Giroud turned, because the way he turned his defender and scored. That was a really good goal. And I'm a bit worried for Adriano, to be honest, because I know how much Adriano adores Olivier Giroud, and I think, you know, he might need the summer to get to terms with it. But also we wish Olivier well in his next project, his next adventure. But he's been magnifique.
So guys, that's all for Stefano Pioli's side. Now let's move on with our women's team. Rossonere held to a draw in Naples, Sheridan. A very balanced match, we can say.
Yeah, we can also say a very end-of-season match, in the sense that Milan have done very well. They've won the salvation pool. They've scored some good goals along the way. Now I think it's normal that some of the matches are perhaps being played at a slightly lower level, you could say, a lower speed. It wasn't a classic match. It won't be one that will live in the memory for long. But unbeaten, so going fairly well, turned around the season fairly well, Milan, and it was just, like I say, another indicator that the team, I think, have found some stability after a really tough opening part to the season, and some of the new players are bedding in nicely and showing what they're capable of. And, you know, there are more positives than negatives, but I wouldn't say it's one eye on next season, I'd say it's both eyes.
Comment on this final run of the season for the Rossonere, Adriano.
Napoli, of course, at a different part of the table there, as we saw. They were fighting to stay up, to avoid relegation. So to play in a match like this, where Sheridan did say has that end-of-season feel about it, Napoli with everything to play for, it is tough. It is tough. But look, to go there, to come away with a result, yes, disappointing, but I think now both eyes are firmly on next season. But obviously very late on there to concede that equaliser,
Yeah.
not what they would have hoped for.
And a very good goal as well. Credit to Napoli for a really good finish. You know, I think the Milan players were probably hoping to hold on for a 1-0 win, but Napoli did have something to fight for. So, as I said, an end-of-season game, more from the Milan point of view, because I think the players just want to get together and regroup and get ready for the next campaign. But, you know, undefeated, again, Milan, which is always important.
And now there's only one match between us and the end of the season, as the Rossonere will host during this weekend Sampdoria at the Vismara Puma House of Football.
Yeah, last home match of the season as well. Try and mirror what the men's first team did with the 5 goals. Try and finish the season on a high with a good show, with some goals. And then, like I say, take the positives from this second part of the season, try and work out what functioned, and then try and use that to build towards the next campaign.
And now let's talk about the Rossonere under-19s, who made history by winning 3-1 against Sassuolo at the Viola Park and becoming the champions of Italy, winning the scudetto under-19s. Very tough 120 minutes with pure charge and commitment, but let's relive the emotions on the pitch with the highlights.
Played over the top towards Karen Appiah, and the defender hasn't dealt with it too well. Appiah away from one, into the area, clever footwork away from another defender, and she stabs it into the near corner, and that is a sensational goal by Karen Appiah to get the scoring started after 16 minutes. Really wonderful play from Milan's number 7. Did so well, and then near post, just a toe poke into the corner, making it 1-0 to the junior Rossonere keeper. Sassuolo desperately looking for an equaliser into the area. Shot comes in, and it's a fine effort. It's curled into the corner, and it's an equaliser by Girotto. Sassuolo back on level terms. Played into the area. Clever footwork. Still going. Shoots, and it's in the corner. Milan have scored to make it 2-1 in the 114th minute. Really good individual goal by Petra Mikulica. And Milan now on the cusp of glory. away from two defenders and then really accurately into the far corner. Sassuolo coming forward but fatigue, and they give it away, and now Milan have the attack. Milan coming forward, it's a great run and it's into the corner, and this time it's a goal, which means the trophy is coming back to Lombardia. Sara Stokic with her fully deserved goal makes it 3-1 to the junior Rossonere. And what a performance from Milan. What a performance from Matteo Zago's team. There's the final whistle. Milan's Primavera Femminile are the champions of Italy. What a fabulous performance. What a fine achievement by this excellent team. The party has begun, and it's a fully deserved festival for the young Rossonere. And very shortly, Nadine Sorelli, the captain, will lift the trophy, the plate, into the air, and there it is. Milan Primavera Femminile are the champions of Italy. What a wonderful achievement for this splendid side. And the celebrations now begin and will go on for a long, long time, and deservedly so.
A great and a sweet voice to comment on this final match, Sheridan.
Oh, the emotion was so high, and it was a really good achievement. They weren't expected to get to the final, not in a disrespectful way, but Roma were the super favourites. So the fact that they got to the final was an achievement, and then they just went the extra step and they brought some silverware back to this famous club. This club runs on silverware, so it was a magnificent achievement. So compliments to these amazing young women.
Adriano?
It never gets old seeing a Milan shirt at any level with a piece of silverware, and to have this beautiful voice commenting. That made it all the more special for me. But wonderful to see, and of course, let's hope that some of these girls, as they start to move into their senior years, that they can now start to integrate into the women's first team, and obviously a lot of potential to come. So a perfect weekend with a perfect voice. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Congratulations to our Rossonere. That's all for our women's team. And now let's move on with our under-19s. Primavera beat Frosinone 2-1, gaining big points for this playoff race.
Important points. We've spoken about that, the positions in the standings there, and how important this result was going to be to get into that top six. Sheridan, correct? So important now that this is a tough win against the Frosinone team. Busy schedule it's been for these young men. We know that, of course, the Youth League wrapped up, but that deep run there, playing more fixtures than others. And look, obviously on paper it was a fixture that we were expected to win, but you can see how important those 3 points are now, getting into that position there and having a chance to go deeper into this season. So, look, the promising run has continued. They were made to work for it, but this is what good teams do. They find the way and they win.
Yeah, it was actually the visitors actually took the lead, and it was a bit worrisome. But then this goal from Alessandro Bonomi, such a delicate finish, really excellent way that he anticipated the defenders might make an error here. He runs between two defenders like a ferret, like a speedy rabbit, and then the finish is so calm. And another chance to see it. This toe poke from a narrow angle, that's top-class finishing. And then in the second half, Pippo Scotti scored. It'd been a while since he'd found the net, but we were aware of his quality, but he hadn't struck in the league for some time. And you can see how much it meant to Filippo Scotti. Really good, again, opportunistic, just smashed it into the roof of the net. So a really good victory, despite going behind against the Frosinone, who were making life very, very difficult. But a really good win. Good to get back to winning ways. Good to show their quality, because this is a fine group.
And I guess Frosinone, the two goal scorer, both Bonomi and Scotti, reached their 6th goal of the season in all competitions. So this is a great result. Next up will be against Torino, also for our youngest talents, and this is a very crucial appointment, because a victory will secure us a qualification for the playoff, but a draw it will depend our future on the match between Genoa and Sassuolo. So pay attention.
Absolutely. I think it's important to go for the win. You're right that other permutations might work for Milan, but we'll leave those mathematics to the league and to Adriano Del Monte. But the best thing you can do, like in any football match, is concentrate on getting the victory. So there is the boss, Mr. Abate. He'll prepare the team. He'll remind them of their qualities. He will have done his research on Torino as well, who are a very good team and only 2 points behind the young Rossoneri. So it will be all about getting the victory and not having to worry about what they did against them, etc., etc. And I'm fairly confident that Mr. Abate's side have got the skill and the mentality to get a positive result against Toro.
If you're confident, I'm confident, Sheridan. And they've worked hard to get themselves in a position where their fate is in their own hands here. So it is a final, and they're used to playing these sorts of matches, given what they did in the UEFA Youth League. The playoffs begin now for Milan. So we know what they need to do, win, go through, and the journey continues.
So that's all for our youngest talents, our under-19s, but we are going to close today's episode with a very special corner for us, and I'm sure also for you, because after 30 years from the legendary win in Athens against Barcelona, our AC Milan Media House wants to celebrate and remember the emotions of the night against Cruyff's side. With Apotheosis, a documentary film reliving the emotions of the night that led our club the 5th Rossoneri Champions League. So here the trailer for you.
Non mi hanno passato ancora l'incazzatura per aver perso con il Marsiglia l'anno prima.
È stata una partita dominata da ogni punto di vista.
Vinci se ti prepari tutti i giorni.
Ogni allenamento era come se fossimo ad Atene a giocare.
E secondo me noi veniamo ricordati anche per come abbiamo vinto.
La sciocchezza che io feci, persi la testa.
Sapevo di essere diffidato e non avrei giocato la finale.
Ha detto: ragazzi, oggi ho capito che siamo fortissimi e vinciamo la finale di Champions League.
Buonasera dallo Stadio Olimpico di Atene.
Cruyff mi chiamava il ragazzino.
Tutti ci davano sfavoriti.
Cruyff ha sbagliato e ha pagato caro quella notte ad Atene.
Una finale, una battaglia.
El planteamiento del Capello ha sido perfetto.
Un sogno che diventava realtà.
Tutti capirono che si poteva fare.
Milan-Barcellona rimane nella storia.
Pochi possono dire di aver fatto una doppietta in finale di Champions.
È la finale perfetta.
Quando ho toccato il pallone ho già visto nella rete.
Apotheosis with the protagonists of that final Champions League match in 1994. You can already find the full version on our AC Milan app, and from Saturday it will be available also on our official YouTube channel, so don't miss it. Enjoy with Rossoneri history, a very special quarter and remember for us.
Absolutely fabulous. If you aren't aware of the 1994 final, which I know that a lot of our viewers are a lot younger, check it out because it was an incredible match. They were the super favourites, Barcelona. They were like the Manchester City of this current era. Nobody expected Milan to have a chance playing against people like Romario and a team coached by Johan Cruyff, who was very confident before the final, but Milan blew the Catalan team away and it was a remarkable performance. So you have to check it out, worth watching. You two as well.
We will.
You youngsters as well.
We will, I can't wait. But it looks very, very good.
A great job for our AC Milan Media House, but now we come to the end of this weekly episode, so let me say thank you as always to my two guests. Thanks to Adriano Del Monte.
Thank you guys, always a lot of fun.
And thanks to Sheridan Bird.
Thank you very much, Leisha. Thank you, Adriano. Had a great time today.
See you next week, guys. And dear Rossoneri, that's all for today. Thanks for following us. See you again, as always, on our AC Milan Talk. Ciao!